Welcome back. This week, things are about to get explosive.
This week on the Great Pacific Crest road trip, I'm exploring some of Oregon's most unusual volcanic history. After picking up my husband, we're headed south to Crater Lake National Park, but not before making important pit stops at a massive volcano hiding in plain sight and reuniting with my trail family at the PCT before exploring Crater Lake's iconic blue waters. This is an episode for the hikers, road trippers, and most of all, the geology nerds out there. So make sure you like and subscribe to catch all the adventures, and now let's hit the trail.
It's week 2 of my Cascades road trip, and I've made it down to just outside Bend, Oregon at Newberry Volcanic National Monument here in the Deschutes National Forest.
You may not have heard of it, but the Newberry volcano is one of the largest shield volcanoes in the United States. Unlike a cone-shaped volcano most people picture like Mount Rainier or Mount Hood, shield volcanoes are wide and low, built by fluid basalt lava that can travel for miles. Newberry's lava flows cover more than 1,200 square miles. Here at the Lavalands Visitors Center, the trail of molten land cuts through some of the youngest lava in the monument. These jagged black fields formed during eruptions roughly 3,000 years ago when rivers of lava poured across this landscape, cooled, and created the rock you see today. If you have time, this area is well worth a visit, with miles of hiking trails, lava cave tours, and nearby hiking through the Three Sisters Wilderness.
If you haven't yet and you want to see more about the volcanoes and the Cascades region, go back and check out some of my Washington videos that I posted over the last couple of weeks. But as much as I could spend a day, actually even more, just in this national monument, not to mention the incredible areas around Bend, we have got a very important appointment to keep with some familiar faces on the Pacific Crest Trail. If you're new here or maybe missed the last couple of videos, I am currently road tripping through the Pacific Northwest. I'm roughly following the path of the Pacific Crest Trail. If you're really new here, you might not know that earlier this year I attempted to thru hike the PCT, but I got injured off after around mile 400. So now that I'm able to hike again, not super long distances, but just enough, I have taken to the road and I'm basically trying to see some of the sites that I was going to be able to see on the trail that I wasn't able to because I got injured off. Since I already had the time being unemployed, I figured might as well make the best of it. So for the last week, I was in the Washington Cascades. I visited North Cascades National Park, had some real bad luck in and around Mount Rainier. So if you haven't checked out those videos, I'll link them in the description or maybe in one of those little things above. But today I am firmly believing that our luck is turning around. My husband flew into Portland last night to join me for this little Oregon stretch of our Cascades adventure. So today we obviously hit the lava fields on our way out of town and are headed down to Crater Lake. Now, if you followed my PCT journey, you might see some familiar faces today. And that is because my Tranly, aka my trail family of hikers, has made it all the way to Oregon. They're not all hiking together anymore, but at least 2 of my good friends have made it, and they have arrived today at Shelter Cove, which is not too far off the highway from Bend where we were. So I've grabbed some cold sodas, some fresh fruit, and we are on our way to meet them to say hi and congratulate them on making it all this way to Oregon on the PCT. So let's go say hi. that was such a treat. I didn't even take a ton of video because we were just busy catching up, but I just want to give a huge shout out to Jukebox and Bigfoot when you're watching this, and all of the other class of 2025 PCT hikers that I saw at Shelter Cove and that are out on the trail this season. Y'all are amazing, and to be even just a little bit part of that journey for 400 miles, and for the lifelong friends that I've made along the way, like, those are people that I will get to cherish in my life for the rest of my life. But now it is on to the main event. We are headed to Crater Lake National Park. This is a new park for me, which I think makes it number 32 or 33 of the national parks that I visited. And it is hot, it is sunny, it is gonna be crowded, but it's gonna be beautiful. So let's hit the road.
We arrived at Crater Lake in the late afternoon and took in our first views of the deepest lake in the United States, only to realize that a small wildfire had broken out in the park's backcountry. Now, this park has been ravaged by wildfires in recent years, so you can imagine my concern. We sipped drinks on the patio of the Crater Lake Lodge and wondered if my bad luck streak had indeed followed us to Oregon, and hoped the fire wouldn't spell disaster for tomorrow's adventures.
Cheers. See you tomorrow.
Sorry. Don't go to the table.
I'm a menace.
Blue slides.
Good morning. We are up bright and early here on the rim, and it looks like my good luck might be returning because that wildfire seems to have put itself out, or our amazing wildland firefighters here in the Park Service may have put it out. Not quite sure, but either way, it is a glorious and smoke-free day here at Crater Lake. Now, the thousands of people that visit this incredible park every year usually see the lake from the Rim Drive, which is what we saw last night, getting out, doing a little hiking, or seeing the lake from those viewpoints. But in order, I think, to really experience this park, you got to be willing to put in a little bit of work and head down to the lake. Only about 10% of the park visitors apparently ever actually make it to the water, and today we are going to be part of that 10%. We're currently headed down the Cleetwood Cove Trail, which is the only trail that leads to the actual water in Crater Lake. We're pretty lucky because this trail is about to be closed until 2029, at least through 2028 for a complete rehabilitation. So this is sort of your last chance for the last couple of years to get down on the water. And we're about to get on a boat and take a tour of this magnificent lake. So let's go.
Boat tours are the only way to experience Crater Lake from the lake itself. And from down here, you get a perspective on the scale and beauty of this place that is totally different than up on the rim. What we're floating on right now is the flooded caldera of Mount Mazama, a massive volcano that once stood where Crater Lake is now today. Nearly 7,700 years ago, Mount Mazama erupted in one of the most powerful volcanic events in North American history. The eruption was so violent that the mountain essentially emptied itself of magma. With nothing left to support the summit, the entire peak collapsed inward, forming this enormous basin. The collapse created a caldera almost 5 miles wide. Over hundreds of years, rain and snow have slowly filled it. There are no rivers flowing in and none flow out, and that's part of what makes Crater Lake so special. The water here is incredibly pure, filtered only by snowmelt and precipitation, which is what creates this intense blue color and the exceptional clarity. According to Klamath legend, Crater Lake was formed during a great battle between Lau, the spirit of the underworld who lives inside the mountain, and Skell, the spirit of the sky who lives at the top of Mount Shasta. Their fight caused the earth to shake, fire to rain from the sky, and the mountain to be destroyed, with Skell trapping the defeated Lau underneath the collapsed caldera and filling it with water. As we moved across the lake, some of Crater Lake's most iconic features came into view. Rising out of the water ahead is Wizard Island, a striking cinder cone that resembles, well, a wizard's hat. The island actually formed after Mount Mazama collapsed, during later volcanic activity beneath the lake's surface. It's one of the youngest features in the park and a reminder that the volcanic forces simply didn't stop once the caldera formed. Then there's the Phantom Ship, a jagged rock formation that really lives up to its name. Depending on the light, fog, and angle, it looks like a ghostly sailing vessel drifting silently across the lake. It's made of older, more erosion-resistant rock, which is why it still stands while the surrounding landscape has been worn away over time. And finally, there's one of Crater Lake's strangest and most beloved residents, the real star of the show here, the Old Man of the Lake. The Old Man is a centuries-old tree trunk that floats upright, bobbing around the lake like a sentry. First reported in written records in 1896, the Old Man itself is believed to be over 400 years old. He is preserved by the lake's very cold water and moves slowly around the lake from current and wind, although never in a predictable pattern. There are plenty of legends and superstitions around the Old Man, but my favorite story has to be this. During a series of scientific submarine explorations of the lake in 1988, researchers temporarily tied the Old Man off near the eastern side of Wizard Island in order to keep him out of the way for what they saw as a navigational hazard. Almost immediately, the weather shifted. Clear skies turned stormy, and in the middle of August, snow began to fall on the lake. Researchers waited for days for the weather to clear, unable to resume their important work. But finally, scientists relented, and the Old Man was released from his captivity. Not long after, the skies cleared again, and everyone could resume their work. Today, the park still tracks the Old Man's slow journey across the lake and treat the Old Man with the healthy respect he has earned. Remember when I said that Crater Lake's water was exceptionally pure? The boat tour actually stops so you can refill your water bottle straight from the middle of the lake. No filter, no treatment needed, because Crater Lake is one of the cleanest and clearest lakes in the world. As the tour comes to an end, it's time to say goodbye to our exploration of Crater Lake and keep chasing the Pacific Crest south into weird and wild Northern California next. But not without checking off one last very chilly bucket list item off my list. And yes, it's exactly as cold as you'd expect.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another adventure. Bye.